Good afternoon. My name is Nikisha Boyer, Associate Director with the Network Engagement Team. I am joined with my fellow colleagues, Dr. Elaine Reese, Director of Research, and Leon Hill, Strategical Data and Technical Coach. We welcome and thank you for joining us for the 2018 Leader College Recertification and Leader College of Distinction webinar. We are excited this year to present you with a new Leader College Recertification application that includes a new designation, the Leader College of Distinction. Our agenda for today will cover the following: how to access application materials via ATD's website, and specifics around eligibility criteria and the review process, introduction of new metrics for the recertification process and metrics around Leader College of Distinction certification, along with other material required for the application. In addition, we will provide you details regarding data specifications, analyzing data, defining the cohort, defining metrics, and walk you through the ATD data template. In closing, you will be given information on how to submit your completed application. Time will be allotted to answer any questions you may have following the presentation. So let's get started. As many of you know, ATD extended the recertification for eligible colleges last year. This gave us time to update and improve the application process and criteria based on feedback from our network and our own reflection of the Leader College process. Reflecting on the maturing of the ATD network and the community college reform movement, we also decided to raise the bar for attaining and retaining Leader College status, and to align student outcome metrics with the voluntary framework of accountability and pathways metrics. Leader colleges must also build upon their achievements from the point of Leader College designation and show evidence of closing equity gaps. The new recertification process also requires a narrative that tells the story behind the data, providing a holistic view into how the strategies that were implemented intentionally address barriers to student success and equity gaps between student populations. This change reflects the commitment to equity that is expected of all achieving the dream colleges, as well as the acknowledgement that closing gaps is long-term work. Institutions that meet the increase in sustained improvement since the college's last certification will retain Leader College status and privilege for 3 additional years. Several colleges in the ATD network have successfully participated in the recertification process multiple times, and we believe that those colleges should continue to strive for higher goals. To encourage continuous improvement and recognize network colleges that have sustained and improved their reform work, Achieving the Dream is pleased to introduce a new level of designation, the Leader College of Distinction. Leader colleges that meet new, higher student outcomes criteria will be given the title of Leader College of Distinction. These more rigorous requirements are meant to motivate sustained and aggressive reform efforts that result in far greater student success and equity. Only colleges that have been Leader colleges for 3 or more years may apply for this status. This year's Leader College Recertification and Leader College of Distinction application material and instructions are stored on the ATD website at achievingthedream.org, which is marked with the number 1 on this slide. Once you have accessed the ATD website, click on the Resources tab marked with number 2. The third indicator is the Knowledge Center page, which stores the link that gets you one step closer to accessing the 2018 new recertification and Leader College of Distinction application. Once you click on the link towards the bottom of the page under Resource Files, you will find the link to the application that includes instructions and other pertinent information. The document starts out with an introduction and followed by this year's eligibility requirements. Colleges have a choice between applying for the standard Leader College Recertification and a higher level of recognition, Leader College of Distinction. Colleges that choose to apply for standard recertification must meet the following criteria. They must be in good standing with the accrediting agency, not on a warning or on probation, and active participating in the ATD network, at least participating at the annual network benefit level of $8,000. Colleges that choose to apply for the Leader College Distinction Certification must meet the following criteria that also includes the good standing with the accrediting agency, not on a warning or probation, and also actively participating in the ATD network at minimally the annual network benefit level of $8,000. In addition, colleges must have been a Leader College for 3 or more years to apply for Leader College of Distinction status. Each application for recertification and Leader College of Distinction status will be reviewed through a selection process that includes consultation and feedback by an ATD staff and coaches. ATD will use a rubric to evaluate the quality of college responses to the following comprehensive information. 1, evidence of growth or an upward trend for the metrics selected over the last 4 years. 2, both qualitative and quantitative evidence to support the improvement in student outcomes. And 3, show a clear link between the impact of the specific actions the college has taken and the improvement in student outcomes. Successful applications incorporate evidence of each of these items, together with the description of how the strategies that were implemented intentionally address barriers to student success and equity gaps between student populations. ATD also recognizes that unexpected events, such as legislative actions, significant weather events, or even budget cuts may require significant adjustments to reform plans. If these conditions apply, colleges are encouraged to explain how they adjusted and maintained focus on improving student outcomes. The worksheet on pages 3 to 6 of the document may be used to help colleges collaborate responses to the quantitative data analysis and qualitative narratives before uploading. This year's recertification and Leader College of Distinction application consists of 3 parts. Section 1 is the quantitative portion that requires a data template and written analysis. Section 2, a qualitative written narrative. And Section 3, a letter from the college president or chancellor. Leader colleges must build upon their achievements from the point of Leader College designation and show a progression of growth. This year, we have designated 2 recertification tracks, which colleges are required to select and apply for either the standard recertification or Leader College of Distinction certification. Colleges applying for recertification must report 4 years of data showing a 3-year upward trend on the 2 metrics selected. And also, they must demonstrate their disaggregation, the narrowing of equity gaps on at least 1 student characteristic. Leader colleges that choose to apply for the Leader College of Distinction status must meet the more rigorous recertification metrics. Only colleges that have been Leader colleges for 3 or more years may apply for this status. Colleges must report 4 years of data and show a 3-year upward trend on 3 metrics selected. At a minimum, colleges must select 2 metrics from Group A and 1 metric from Group B. Shortly, Elaine will provide a listing of these groups and definitions for the required metrics. In addition, colleges must demonstrate through disaggregation the narrowing of equity gaps on at least 2 students' characteristics. For both recertification and Leader College of Distinction applications, institutions must describe the improvement in their metrics selected. The narrative should include a description of the equity gap the college narrowed, and the student population affected. Colleges should describe the nature, scale, and timing of the large-scale student success reforms and best practices they have implemented to improve outcomes. Successful colleges seeking recertification or Leader College of Distinction status must demonstrate how they continue to exemplify the Leader College designation. In addition to the data metrics, colleges must provide a narrative on the progression and growth outcomes tied to their comprehensive student success agenda since becoming a Leader College. Institutions must tell a cohesive, engaging story of what new, ongoing, or improved goals and strategies were used to drive student success. College must upload a letter from their president or chancellor that further explains why the institution should maintain Leader College status or elevate to Leader College of Distinction status. The letter should include how the college has contributed to the National ATD Learning Network, for example, hosted other colleges for learning days, presented on the college's ATD work at national conferences, or contributed to the ATD publication, etc. And describe ways the college will continue to contribute to the network as a Leader College or Leader College of Distinction. Now, I will turn the next segment of the presentation over to Dr. Elaine Reese, Director of Research, to provide information on data specifications and analysis and defining the cohort and metrics for this year's recertification and Leader College of Distinction application.
Thanks, Nikisha. So first, I'm going to describe the specifications germane to the recertification template. So as Nikisha mentioned, to be eligible for recertification, you need at least 4 years of data. So that is it's a 3-year trend that you're looking at, because you have the first year and then you have 3 follow-up years, essentially, on 2 selected metrics that you can indicate an overall upward trend in progress. So you have a choice of 4 metrics from which you would choose 2. One category is completion of Gateway Math or English within 1 year of initial enrollment. Within that, you can choose for math only, English only, or math and English. Those are all considered part of the same metric. Persistence from year 1 to year 2, so fall to fall persistence. Courses attempted or completed with a C- or higher grade within 1 year of initial enrollment, or completion of a certificate or degree within 4 years of initial enrollment. So again, you would pick 2 of these metrics from this list. In addition to looking at your student trends overall, we're asking that you disaggregate by at least one student characteristic in which you can show some sort of upward growth. On the data template, which I'll be getting to soon, you have the options of ethnicity, gender, income status as measured by Pell recipient, veteran status, first-gen college student, or as I call it, a dichotomous characteristic of your choice. Some schools have come to us and said, well, we measure on some particular metric, and we ask for it to be dichotomous because otherwise you're getting into too many options, and sometimes your group sizes become really small. But if you have something that's of some interest, then feel free to include that. I will note each selected subgroup should be a reasonable proportion of your student body. Ethnicity doesn't necessarily have to represent your 3 largest race ethnicity groups, but let's say you have a student population of 5,000 and you are looking at a race ethnicity group that has 20 students. That's not the most representative of your whole population. Not saying those 20 students aren't very important, but we're looking for overall growth in a substantially large group. So it's the one ask that we have. For Leader College of Distinction, it is a very similar process, but we have one additional metric and are asking for showing upward trends with at least 3 of these selected metrics. Therefore, we separate it into Group A metrics and Group B metrics. For Leader College of Distinction, we're asking to pick 2 from Group A. These are all metrics that you've seen before, so it's Gateway Math, persistence from year 1 to year 2, courses attempted completed with a C- or higher. Pick 2 out of 3 from this group if you're going for Leader College of Distinction. Then we have Group B metrics. Within Group B, we have completion certificate or degree within 4 years of initial enrollment. So that is the same. And we also have the transfer metric and earned baccalaureate, BA or BS, within 6 years of initial enrollment. And that is a different metric than what you've seen. That metric is only applicable to Leader College of Distinction. So we've essentially completed from things that are happening while students are at your school and the groups that represents things that happen upon finishing. So it's either the time to completion overall or going on for an additional credential with an earned baccalaureate. This is very similar to going for regular recertification, except we're asking you to disaggregate by any of these groups for at least 2 student characteristics instead of 1 student characteristic. So same rules apply, but we're asking for 1 additional disaggregation. This is a sample of the template to help you organize your submitted data. I will be getting to this shortly and doing a walkthrough of this template, but this is generally what you'll see. It's created in a way that you are just filling out these green cells. You don't have to be inserting rows or columns or changing text, just entering some drop downs and some numbers. Before you select your metrics, we ask that you choose how you would like to define your cohorts. And there's 2 different ways to define. We don't have a preference of which one you choose. It's whichever is perhaps a better fit for your institution. So new to institution represents all students who entered your institution for the first time in a given fall, regardless of prior enrollment elsewhere. So if you have a student who might have completed some college coursework at another school for a year or so, and they came into your school in, say, fall of 2015, then they are part of new to your institution in the fall 2015 cohort, regardless of whatever they did prior. This would include any sort of transferring credits or formally dual enrolled high school students. This is certainly the most inclusive option to capture the trends of as many students as possible. The other option is first time ever in college. So these would be students who are both new to your institution in a given fall and have no prior credits at all. So this option would exclude any sort of transfer in student to your school. It would also exclude those who have been formally duly enrolled as high school students. We consider this to be the most level playing field option, since you are only including students with no credits. So if you're looking at an outcome like completing coursework completed within a year, everybody's starting from 0 as opposed to new to institution, but not necessarily new to college, where you'd have some students with credits and some who don't have credits. We're asking that for all of the metrics that you're sharing, you're using the same cohort throughout. So that's why you see there's a front start here page on the template. We ask you to make the selection there, and then you will be reminded of your selection for all of the subsequent tabs of the template. A little more about the definitions of these metrics. So measure 1, which is completed Gateway English and or Math in year 1. If you're going for Leader College of Distinction, this is in Group A. It's the number and percentage of students who successfully completed with a C- or higher Gateway courses within 1 year of initial enrollment. So you can report for Math only, for English only, or for Math and English for those who take both courses. So it's a matter of what part of the Venn diagram of students do you want to share. If Math only, you might have some students who have been in English as well, but you're not looking at the English outcome. For Math and English, you're looking at both outcomes simultaneously. The cohorts that we're defining are for those students who began at your institution fall 2014 through fall 2017. The whole idea with these cohorts is that we wanted to bring them as recent as possible, but not be excluding anybody if perhaps you're still updating systems from the year end or you don't necessarily have things handy. So for fall 2017, you're looking at what happened by the end of the 17-18 school year. That's about as recent as you can get with a year one outcome since we're in fall 2018 at the moment. Measure 2 is examining persistence of your cohort from year 1 to year 2. So this is traditional fall to fall persistence. Did they re-enroll? So we're looking, let's say you're looking at the fall 2016 cohort. What happened as of fall 2017? Are they in your school or are they no longer in your school? Graduation does count as persisting. We don't want to, this wouldn't be as applicable if you're looking at first time ever in college, because some of those students, most of the students wouldn't complete in a year starting with 0. But if you are using the more inclusive cohorts, it's possible you had students come in with enough credit and they graduated in a year. We don't want you to have to exclude that they didn't persist. They were very successful in that case. So graduation counts. And yes, I want to also caution, these cohort years are a year older than, say, the course completion or the gateway course completion or any of those, because again, we need to see what happened into the next fall, whereas course completion happens within the scope of a single school year. So again, in trying to not make you pull up metrics that maybe you're still in the middle of calculating, fall 2016, you know what happened fall 2017. If we gave the fall 2017 cohort, yeah, we're a little bit into the fall 2018, but it's still borderline depending on how rapidly schools are perhaps getting their information together. So just pay attention to what cohorts are asking for a given metric. Measure 3, again, this is part of Group A if you're going for Leader College of Distinction, as was the previous. College credits earned versus attempted with a grade of C- or higher, or if it's a pass-fail course, a P. You're looking at the number of college-level non-remedial credits completed by your fall cohort students in their first full academic year, divided by the number attempted. So I want to caution the numerator and denominator here are not numbers of students, they are numbers of credits. However, they're reflecting the same students you would see in the other tabs. It's just you're looking at credits earned, not students earning credits. Again, this is an example of a metric that takes place within the scope of one school year. It doesn't require you to go to the following school year, which is why this is fall 2014 through fall 2017. And measure 4, this is the last measure for standard recertification, and this is the first measure for the Group B metrics of Leader College of Distinction. 4-year certificate or degree completion. So number of percentage of students who attained a certificate or degree within 4 years of initial enrollment. You'll notice these cohort years look a lot older, and that's because these are starting cohort years. For fall 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, you could potentially go to the end of 2018, but because again, the summer term still somewhat recently ended, we're looking to be as inclusive as possible and not asking for metrics that some schools might not have crunched yet. So this is the starting cohort of these students. They kind of need 4 years to generate this outcome, which is why they look older. And finally, measure 5, which again, this is only for Leader College of Distinction. It is part of Group B. This is a transfer metric and earned baccalaureate within 6 years. So as stated, it's the number of percentage attaining a baccalaureate degree within 6 years. However, and there is a drop down on the front page that will let you make your choice. If you happen to be using this metric, your denominator could be one of two. It could be the entire cohort, the same as what you'd use for all your other metrics, in definition at least, or you can look at only students in the cohort who at some point transferred to a 4-year institution anytime within that 6-year span. The difference is for the choice A, the entire cohort, your percentage is going to be a lower percentage, because if you're looking, some students might not have transferred at all, and therefore in most cases are then not earning a baccalaureate. But because you're looking at the same metric longitudinally, you could still definitely show growth within this metric. It's just your numbers are going to seem low because some students weren't even eligible. If you go with option B, your numbers will be higher because your denominator is only out of students who have transferred. So this is anybody who could have been potentially eligible to earn a baccalaureate degree. Again, I can't really tell you why it might be better or worse for your particular school to calculate it one way or another, but we give the choice because definition, it depends on who you go to, the metrics are defined differently. We're looking for, the basic thing we're looking for is upward growth throughout, no matter what. So whatever you choose is fine, you're just going to be consistent with it. Again, these cohort years look even older. It's fall 2008 to fall 2011 because we need 6 years worth of an opportunity for students to earn that baccalaureate. So I'm going to walk through the data template momentarily, but a few tips to make the best of it. There is a first tab that says Start Here in capital letters on the tab. You should enter your school's name as well as which cohort you're using. You won't have to enter them again. Yeah, don't leave it as sample community college because then we don't know who you are. The calculations will be done for you. You'll see there's green boxes. All you have to do is enter numbers in the green boxes. As long as you have a numerator and a denominator, the percentages will calculate next to the numerators. We have provided definitions per tab, so you don't necessarily have to keep going back to the template to remember how to do what or what this included or excluded. They'll be on the right-hand side. As I cautioned before, pay attention to your cohort years. Every tab has a different set of cohort years depending on the metric. So for example, I use examples of, I know we're asking for 4-year graduation, but I said, we gave you fall 2016 and you had 3-year graduation. 3 years haven't passed to even generate the outcome. So we're just trying to provide the most relatively recent cohorts for which all institutions would have access to data across the board. There is the Your Choice option. As I mentioned, if you have a particular metric, let's say you're looking at students born in another country, whatever the case is, then you'll have an option to choose that dichotomous variable, and you have the option to then say, okay, I want to use this versus I want to use one of these other metrics. Your gray boxes are present for a reason. The gray boxes is where it wouldn't make sense to have a percentage. So they're next to the denominators. You can't have a denominator divided by itself, or you would, but it'd be 100%. So therefore it says don't enter something here. That's the main reason for that. So at this point, I would like to do a quick walkthrough of the template, if possible. Well, looks like technical difficulties. Might not be able to pull it up. Which, let's put it this way: it's if you have any questions, please feel free to email us. We've gone into some definite depth about this particular template, so we feel also you've probably seen this before in possibly previous applications. It depends. Sorry about that. So at this point, I'm going to turn it back over to Nikisha for wrap up.
All right. Thanks so much, Elaine. As you guys are beginning to work on the data template, if you do have any specific questions or if you come across any difficulty, please contact us at our direct main line at 240-450-0075 or email us at network@achievingthedream.org, and we'll definitely be able to provide you immediate assistance upon your contact. So next, I'll just kind of walk us through where to locate this year's application material. You will upload and submit your material via the link that is provided in the application, which can be found on the ATD website at www.achievingthedream.org. At the beginning of this presentation, remember I kind of walked you through once you access the website on which tabs to sequentially get to the application. And when you bring up the application, it does have a submission session with the link that's listed as upload, that you will upload here is a link. And when you click on that, it'll take you to the link for you to upload your material that consists of the data template, the worksheet, and the president or chancellor's letter. So there's 3 documents that you will need to upload once all your material is ready to be submitted. Recertification applications and applications for Leader College of Distinction, depending on which you choose to fill out and apply for, they're both due on November 30th of this year. So November 30th at 5 p.m., I believe that'll be Eastern Standard Time or at that point. So please make sure you meet that deadline. And again, if you have any further questions, at this time, if there are others joining us, we do welcome you to submit your question by accessing the chat feature of the control panel within this presentation, and we'll wait a minute or two if we do have anyone with further questions or any questions at this time. Okay, seeing that we have no questions, feel free to contact us once you begin the process of applying. And if there's any areas that we could provide any clarity around, or if you come into any technical or concerns or issues with the application process for the recertification or Leader College of Distinction, please contact us accordingly. On the slide, I have our network email address as well as the main ATD number. So we thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you and receiving your application materials and reviewing them and making our selections soon. Take care and have a great day.